Defense, fast, aggressive. You don't need to dive this ball. You could play backboard. I think we're going to play backboard. And then, right, fast, aggressive. So, like, you could mix in, like, you did a little fake into an aggressive challenge. You could mix that in. And then it's fast, fast. Look for your demos. Look for your cuts, right? That's what we want. And what it stems from is being aggressive on defense, which we're going to be more aggressive on defense by doing a little bit less on offense as the second, third man. And then it just somehow naturally gives you the play that you want versus a play that looks like this, right? Like, you don't want that. Like, get that POV in your head when you're a second, third man playing a corner, playing a midfield, and you're diving the ball when you're forcing the ball. That's a first man thing. So this will be Champ 3, Grand Champ 1. With the new team, I'll keep that in the back of my head in terms of like what role we need to fill. Fitz is typically, I would say, hyper aggressive, fast, speedy. Let's see if it works. Good. Wish we stayed on backboard for that, but that's miscellaneous. Observation. Good cut from the teammate. That was really good from the teammate. Really good cut from the teammate. We've kind of been a second, third. Defense is the biggest thing on my mind right now. I made that comment before, right? And I wouldn't change anything here. But in one of the replays we did, I talked about sitting in the midfield, about that demo play. It always happens. It always happens. That's why second man, third man in the midfield is a hard position to play. You have to be moving. I don't know. There's a couple things going on. A little awkward on defense that I'm not going to nitpick yet. A macro thing of like just overall impact. I feel like when we have played the ball, it's either forcing the play or missing a challenge, which you can't play perfect, but there's like a loss of impact. And on a team level, just having a hard time holding pressure, and in threes, you can hold pressure in an offensive rotation. I made that comment for twos that can't really rotate too much on offense in a 2v2 setting. I almost get this, like, I feel like it's a culmination of all three of those points where our on-ball impact isn't fantastic. It's leading to not the best challenges overall from the team in an offensive rotation. Then we have to like rush back to defense. And it's basically like our second and third man just keep getting beat or there's no connection. And then we rush back to defense. And then since we rush back, we kind of get put in awkward situations. And then that leads into that defensive comment I made. And then the cycle repeats. And it's like a culmination of everything. Maybe there's one thing we could practice or do to kind of fix all of that. And initially, I think it starts with the challenge. Another challenge. I know we get bumped right here. But like, even if you don't get bumped, it's just like a very congested area to challenge. I think it starts with the challenges. Not just on offense. Most of them start there, but just overall challenge quality. And I think the reason it's overall challenge quality is because on this team, we're playing a second, third man role a lot on transition, whereas naturally for us, we'll play like a first man role on transition and play a lot of cut rotation. So we're having to like play this second, third man, take these behind the ball straightaway challenges. We're not considering fakes. Our challenge quality to dive is not there. I think we're slightly out of position for some of these challenges as well. And then that's causing the rest of the problems. Just kind of talking out some ideas. To be fair, this isn't our starting lineup. I'm the bench player. Nemesis is our best player, but he likes that third man role. What's funny is you're taking a second, third man role on this team. I would say that Nemesis and Jabba are interchangeable first, second. Jabba likes to cut a lot, and you've just been kind of sitting back. Whereas you usually like to be that aggressive, off-ball, fast, speedy, force first man. So that's where my brain's at. Good. You played it perfectly, or you played an option perfectly. Where we look at that initial play, second man, midfield, congested area, multiple bumps to dodge. If you look at this play altogether, super congested area. I mean, we got a star constellation right here, and yet we're forcing ourselves in the play versus this play right here, playing a second, third man, really a second. I like to combine roles. Not as congested. We play the fake, opens up opportunity for a third. This was well done, and the simple solution was don't play the ball, just fake, which is boring advice and also kind of off meta for your play style since you are a very aggressive player. Observations. I'm trying to find the kind of applicational training element. And what's really funny, just to like show how things link together, I made that comment before about how like it starts with the challenge and then, you know, overall the team's challenges aren't good. The second, third man aren't connecting due to the challenges, and then everyone rushes back, and then that leads into defensive problems and then transition problems, and then the cycle repeats. We take a quality second man challenge, which is don't play the ball, fake for the third. And then coincidentally, we get into a decent defensive position / rotation and things work out. Isn't that funny how they're linked? And, you know, like what you do on offense has a direct impact of how you transition back to defense, position on defense, rotate on defense, play the ball on defense. It's linked. I have tanked rank recently too. I don't know if I'm devolving or something. I didn't even feel like I played different playstyle wise, but rewatching here, it's very different from what I usually like. So you are, sorry to hear about your rank. You are the same player, as in when you're playing the ball, you literally look like the same player. The only thing that's changed here, it's not playstyle, it's your role on the field, your role in rotation. You're just falling into a second, third man role. And a lot of it is rooted in Jabba. The reason being, made that comment before, Jabba likes to cut, which that's not bad. But see how Jabba stays in the play right here? Instead of maybe like leaving the play and allowing him to cycle up and Jabba takes it back. But like this cut makes sense, right? Because like if that cycle happened, this player gets free touch. So that's really what's forcing us into a second, third. It's the fact that we have one player who's a little bit more heavy-handed with cuts. Nice try. All right, so I know what the problem is. Yeah, that's the problem. And then, like, let's see how this affects our rotation or anything else. I will take a turn on the ball right here. I will take kind of like an aggressive turn on the ball when, in a more efficient sense, you could, like, maybe leave this, rotate, and allow your teammate to 50 this player on the wall. Same thing, right? Like, okay, we rotated across. Bam. Bam. Same play. Just allowing this dude to get in. But then I will take that. That's how I started this. I'll take a play right there. That's your play style. I'll take that. But then question is, what do we do? Well, leave the play. Just position. Or play close like that, but just fake. But you see how you got your man Jabba trying to get into the play because Jabba's the aggressive dude. So we're just kind of like forcing these plays. Try to hear me out on this, Cozy. I want you to flip-flop your offense and defense. I want you to flip-flop them. And remember how everything is linked together. And what I want you to do, and this is how we're going to like continue to highlight your play style because you are an aggressive first man. You like to play fast. You like to transition. On defense, we are going to aggressively attack the corner, transition. Cut the midfield on defense, transition. Pre-jump, transition. All aggressive, fast gameplay elements on defense. We get to offense, and it's steal boost. You could play 50s if you want. You could play shots if you want, but it's rotate, demo, and then get back into the craziness on defense. We're just flip-flopping it because what we're doing is we're playing fast, risky, aggressive on offense, which, yes, I wanted that fast, aggressive rotation, but we're taking these dive challenges we don't need to, and then that's leading into the defensive stuff. And I want you to try to trust the process of doing less on offense to have more efficient defense and do more on defense. Because what you want is the transition. That's really what we're missing from playstyle. It's the transition. Like, where you shine as a player, it's catching players off guard on defense through cuts and aggressive challenges and pre-jumps, and quickly turning on the ball like you did and beating players on transition. That's where you shine, in addition to those demos across the goal line and all that good stuff. And you could even cut the midfield on offense too. And if you look back, this is a terrible picture, right? But I hope that makes sense. I really do. It's just, we're going to do less on offense as a second, third man when we're, taking these challenges. Fake, rotate, drive through the net, demo, and then we're going to do more on defense to be aggressive and transition. And that transition is where we're going to highlight our play style. And I'll try to walk you through the game sense of this, plays. Tempo control, I like to stay fast on offense. I know that was our last replay. You told me to slow down past the midfield. So what I want you to do is still be fast on offense, but you're being fast on offense via your shots on net, rotations across the goal line, demos, and cuts. But what you're doing, just to get back to this, you're trying to be, we're just calling this fast. You're trying to be fast and aggressive and force like a first man would, but you're doing it as a second, third man. And that's why things are awkward. And then it's leading into the defensive stuff, which is then leading into loss of impact on transition, and the cycle repeats. So whatever resonates with you, because I've described it in a couple different ways, but I want to walk through the game sense, options, rotate back, good. Defense, fast, aggressive. You don't need to dive this ball. You could play backboard. I think we're going to play backboard. And then, fast, aggressive. So, you could mix in, you did a little fake into an aggressive challenge. You could mix that in. And then it's fast. Look for your demos. Look for your cuts, right? That's what we want. And what it stems from is being aggressive on defense, which we're going to be more aggressive on defense by doing a little bit less on offense as a second, third man. And then it just somehow naturally gives you the play that you want versus a play that looks like this, right? You don't want that. Get that POV in your head when you're a second, third man playing a corner, playing a midfield, and you're diving the ball when you're forcing the ball. That's a first man thing. Yeah, you're technically a first man because you're the next one to play the ball, but really your first man is Nemesis right here. You're kind of that second man. And then remember, forcing as a second man, getting aggro conflicts with your homie. Conflicts with Jabba. Because if you think about this play, remember the star constellation? Super congested. Stop diving in congested space. This player can play the ball. This player can steal boost play the ball. You could play the ball. Tons of people can play the ball. I want to see opportunities where it's very clear that you're the only one to play the ball. Like this. This is very clear. It is our turn to go. It is very clear. It is our turn to go. And then this is where we're fast, right? Rotate across the goal line, demo, control boost. That's really your playstyle highlights. Then I'm going to show the examples. It's that transition up the field and that rotation across the goal line. This and this. Those are your highlights. And we could even throw aggressive defensive challenges, midfield, corner. That's your highlights. Not freaking second, third man right here diving the ball. It's almost like you're taking the highlights of this, which are found across the goal line, in transition, on the goal line, in the corner, how you would play those situations, and you're trying to force them into a second, third man role that traditionally you play a fake or play a position, play slow. So I'm going to show the good and the bad, okay? This was fine how you played it, but this is your good. This is the good zone, okay? I know it's off kickoff, so you're trying to play a little bit safe, but this is your good zone. We are in that transition zone. Remember, transition we like, offensive goal line we like, and then defensive goal line into corner we like, into midfield we like. So if you're going to be fast and crazy, do it right now. Attack that ball, or, that was a good beat below you. But that was fine how you played it. I don't want to beat that up. not the best example. This is where we're fast. This is where we're crazy. All right, we get back. We're going to fall into that second man role. This is when we fake. This is when we position. You have someone driving at you, so obviously you got to watch out for this. Right? And then look, like your teammates cut for you, but it's rooted in you playing a safe, traditional second, third man. This is when we're fast. Obviously, you're going to slow this down. You have space. I get that. But just highlighting the zones. Right? Boom. Clear. Fast. Good. Transition. Good. Now we're going to be that second, third man falling into a positional role. This is when we want to play a fake, play slow, hold a position. And I'll see if I could tell the future. I probably won't be able to. But play a position, right? If that ball goes mid, you're the decoy. Cut. Your homie Jabba's going to cut. Getting a little antsy, getting in there. And that works. I wouldn't have played it differently. And instead of Jabba cutting the ball, Jabba went for the demo. So that play works out. I knew I couldn't tell the future. But then look, he naturally cuts. Like, the dude likes to cut the ball. And you always want to highlight your teammates. And if you are a backup on this team, one of the number one ways to become a starter on a team is to have a teammate say, I really like playing with so-and-so because he allows me to play how I want to play. That's a good defining characteristic of a teammate. All right, fast, rotate, good, cut, out. That works, totally fine. We're going to fall into this positional role again. Good, this is what we want. Nice try. Rotate back. Might be able to cut on defense. Good. All good. All right, good. Perfect. Some of these moments get a little confusing, but you fell into that second, third man role. We are a second man. Easiest way to think about it, the positional role, we are behind the ball. We're not cutting the ball in front of the ball. We are behind the ball, right? And what you do, maybe you're thinking, oh, that's obvious. Why would I play that? But don't play the ball. Fake. And then what you could even do, like options for a play, your third man wasn't there. Turn, cut, and you cut this ball. And that's like another cheeky way to highlight your play style. You could be playing behind the ball as a second man, fake or drive challenge, and then turn it into the cut, which highlights your play style. You always play well when you're fast, when you're cutting, when you're demoing, and it's just nonstop movement. Good. This is our highlight, right? That transition. And now, I mean, you could do that. That leads into a goal. I'll take it. I hate showing examples when they lead into the goals because that's a good thing. But like another way that you could play this, bam, 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 we get our touch. Oh, that's a little bit awkward. We're in front of the ball. We are going to go down, steal our boost when it spawns, rotate through, get the demo, cut, get back, do your thing. But what you did was good. It obviously led into a goal. All right, who makes the mistake on kickoff? Let's see. I don't like to nitpick kickoffs. Well, it was the goer. No, Fitz in chat said it was me. I didn't cheat. I don't know why I didn't. If you cheated right here, there's a chance it still would have been on net. Now, if you said it was me, they called a fake, that was my fault, I would have said, okay, all right, that's a bad read. But like, let's say you cheated. It'd be like right here. With your playstyle, you have pretty good reaction time. You might have been able to hit that. But that's not directly your fault, nor do I want to beat up your teammate or a kickoff goal, because kickoff goals, for the most part, are very straightforward. Comes down to one play. It's not necessarily how you make a big impact in gameplay unless 3 or 4 times in a game you get scored on kickoff. Then that's something we could target. Very good. Very good. Good. Playing in front of the ball. I mean, you could, up to you, like if you are having a hard time, like with, you said you declined in rank, just always remember to tap into what makes you good, which has kind of been the storyline of this replay. But one of the defining things is this POV in front of the ball, whether it's cutting on defense or playing outlets or playing cuts on offense or redirects or whatever you want to call it. It's this POV. If you start submitting replays every week, we could start to tackle this POV behind the ball, because that is our weak part. Typically, it's a lot more patience, a lot more defense, a lot more air dribble control. But I would just tap into what makes you good, and it's this POV. At least in the short term, to kind of this POV, to kind of get out of that slump or whatever you want to call it. The reason you struggle with behind the ball POVs is because you're fast. And when you play behind the ball, you can't be fast. You have to be slower. You have to lurk. It's really a speed thing. You thrive off the ball. Always lean into what makes you good. You will have to adjust play style per team role, but you're behind the ball. This is when, like, you're slow, you're a little safer. We'll see if he redirects it. Otherwise, we play goal line. We're going to play safe right now. But, like, you naturally get up to supersonic speed or close to it, right? Like, it's just a habitual tendency. You just have to play different when you're in front of the ball or behind the ball. Just like you did right here. I know this was a little awkward for you. We had a mistouch, but we're behind the ball, right? We're a little bit more methodical. And you could play different ways behind and in front of the ball at different ranks. For this being a Champ 3 GC1 rank, that's just my approach to it. Good. Works. And you're a quick adjustment player, right? Due to the speed. You have more room to adjust when you play like this, right? Like, we shouldn't have done that, but we go down and then we quickly go for the bump. So when you play behind the ball, you're usually left with that one option, right? And that's why ball control is super important for behind the ball. When you're behind the ball, you have one option for the most part. You have different challenges, right? Pre-jumps, fakes, drive challenges, whatever. But a lot of it is like, okay, we have a couple different lanes, but we have to make the highway like super, super important. Like, got to get the job done. Whereas when you're in front of the ball, it's like, okay, I could redirect, I could demo, I could steal boost, I could rotate, I could cut. Like, you have so many more options versus behind the ball. I hope that makes sense, Fitz. I guess my long-term goal for you is to get a starting role on this roster, or maybe they have like a 4-man rotating team roster, which is pretty uncommon, but you never know. I hope you get some play time, and I hope you submit next week, and we'll leave it there. Stop diving in congested space. I'm remembering that one. Now, I'm glad you like that, but I want disclaimer, right? Like a financial advice disclaimer. There's no right way to play this game. Stop diving in congested space may be true for some things, but like, the game is so situational. You should never have an always do this mindset in Rocket League. This is the only way to do this mechanic. This is the only way to play this situation. That will put you in this tight little box, constrain you as a player, and kind of prevent the creativity levels associated with Rocket League, which, in my opinion, are one of the most important things about this game, is being creative. How you play the ball, what do you do off the ball, etc. But from an overall efficiency standpoint, yeah, diving into congested space is not very productive, as players can cut. However, if a player dives into congested space and is really good at doing it, really good at seeking out those opportunities in game, and can control and score off it, that could become a defining characteristic of someone's play style. Also, if you score the ball, that's all that matters. But for what we do here, it's always about improvement.